Welcome to this edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. I'm your host, Earl Basden. Joining me are co-hosts, Andre Doc Manders and Calvin Waldron. Gentlemen, first of all, good evening. Some very interesting matchups today. Just recently, as maybe 10 minutes ago, 10, 15 minutes ago, Bayliss Bay defeated St. George's Cricket Club by 2 wickets. St. George's scored 227 all out, and Bayliss Bay scored 229 for 8 in reply. Earlier today, up at Southampton Oval, Cleveland County, and we're talking Premier Division cricket right now, Cleveland County defeated Southampton Rangers by 8 wickets. Southampton Rangers were bowled out for 85. Cleveland County 90 for 2. And then at Lord's in St. David's, it was Western Stars defeating St. David's by 5 wickets. St. David's batted first, scored 218 for 9. Western Stars would score 219 for 5. Turning to the first division, yesterday at Devonshire Recreation Club, the Devonshire Recreation Club won by 1 wicket over the Bermuda Under-19 team. The Bermuda Under-19 team scored 227, and Devonshire Rec scored 228 for 9. Today in first division play, up at the Somerset Cricket Club, Somerset Cricket Club won by 8 wickets over Flats Victoria. Flats scored 234 all out. Somerset scored 237 for 2. And then the final first division match of the weekend, we saw Willowcotts win by 95 runs over Somerset Bridge. Willowcott scored 192, and Somerset Bridge were all out for 97. Well, gentlemen, that's the scorecards for today and yesterday. But let's first get to 2 undefeated teams in St. George's Cricket Club taking on Bayliss Bay at Wellington Oval. This one, obviously, we knew it was going to be a decider of who takes the first defeat. Doc, going into this game, many would have thought with Delray playing last week, unsure if he was going to play this week, and he did not play this week. I know Sussex would have been calling for him only because Ollie Robinson, one of their players, was having a scan done today as he had an ankle injury, so they would have been short a player. So they would have wanted someone like Delray back in the fold. But going into this particular game, your thoughts on Bayliss Bay chances, St. George's chances before the cordon was tossed.
Oh, I would thought of St. George's being that they was playing at home. Gave them that advantage. They probably knew the wicket up, played through before. But you can't and I didn't know Delray was playing, but still you can't count out Bay, with Rodney. Stephen back playing, you got Tarrant, you got a lot of national score players there. But I only get St. George's the edge because of home advantage. But like I said, Bay's got a strong team there too. So I know it's going to be a close score.
Yeah,
close total, and that's what happened. And it probably came down to maybe 1 or 2 catches or misfielding or run outs or something like that.
Right.
Guarantee, if you look at these stats, that's probably what happened. But, but like I said, I'm not really surprised they beat them, but I definitely thought St. George's at the edge, being that they're playing at home.
Yeah. Well, first of all, welcome, Mr. Waldron, to the show. Thank you very much for taking up the opportunity when you have time to join the show. 227 for St. George's at Wellington Oval. 229 for 8 for Bayliss Bay. Let me just quickly run through the scorecard and give you an idea of what happened. St. George's opened with Ansari Painter and Oronde Bascom. They were 75 for 1 after 11 overs, going along quite smartly. Oronde was out for 50, and Zari was out for 26. Tamika Wilson added 23. Charles Trott, 17. Michelle Painter scored 48 from 21, 2 4s and 5 6s in the middle of the inning to get them to that 227. Doc, we always talk about this and Cal, you could jump in. 32 extras, 31 were wides.
Yeah, I think that was the key for St. George's Berlin wise. That swayed the match definitely to Bay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and then in the Bailey's Bay inning, St. George's had 26 wide. They gave up 35 extras. You had Coolidge Durham scoring 72, Shirai Tavares scoring 27, Azende. They've stuck with, and I must say, they've stuck with the front three of Shirai Tavares and Coolidge Durham opening, Azende Frebbit coming first wicket down, then comes Taryn Frey. And we saw that last week, even though they had Dowray Rollins in the team, they didn't change it until they got to that Stephen Otterbridge slot. Stephen moved down one and Dowray came in, but this time Stephen came in scoring 15. Rodney, who's been consistent thus far this year, was out for 4. Michael Algard was out for 4. Shaquille Otterbridge was out for 10. But Kyle Hutzel, 15 balls for 29 not out, 2 6s, 2 4s, and he scored the winning 6 to get him over the line. Doing it to St. George's again. Cal?
Yeah, it's funny though. It was almost a run a ball, 30 runs from 30 balls or somewhere around that. So it was like who was going to crack first? Whether it was going to be Bayless Bay batsmen, which I think they lost 2 wickets, and then at the end the Chinky over. That one swayed the match because he took a wicket the first ball, and Kyle Hutzel hit him for some boundaries, and then he took a wicket the last ball. So at the end of the depth of the game, St. George's just couldn't find the areas to Burl at the right batsman rather, because it was Kyle and I think Zakeo left at the pitch when the game ended.
Doc, when you have somebody like Kyle Hutzel who likes to throw the bat at the ball, and you're down in the death, and like Cal said, it was 30 from 30, and then I think 11 from 11. Do you try to throw in a slower bowler, or do you try to pick up the pace? What's the thought process?
Yes, it's difficult. It's difficult to say, Earl, because depending on how the wicket's playing, right, and then depending on who's bowling. Like I don't know how many overs, certain players had. Like the Oakland bowlers could have been bowled out. I don't know if Zico, was bowled out but it's difficult to say because with Kyle, if you look at Kyle, is an old start to come out all run just like Zico. Zico could do the same thing. I think Zico hit some runs too. Right. That's how I hit the ball. So it's. I think for them you have to keep the ball back. If you pitch up, both arms gonna hit you. You gotta build top of or something to those guys where they can hit. So I don't know what the thought process was when they build to Kyle, but that's what I would have been telling my builders. Especially if I had the medium, or maybe I could have brought back Zico and just build top of or something. Let them try to go for it, but. It's hard to say. I don't know if the spinners, what spinners you had. Now imagine a spinner coming on to Kyle.
Right.
And he gets it wrong. So it's difficult. I mean, that's a shot you probably that could work for you and could go against you. So
yeah.
I mean
it's who holds the nerve.
Exactly. Like Cal said, who holds the nerve, and not only that, Kyle had nothing to lead. No, the little boy Zico hard is making runs for on the 19th.
Right.
So I'm surprised he's betting on so late because his made runs each time for the 19th. I think he got a 50 the first game. I think he made some runs yesterday too. So Bay's got a strong betting lineup right down to 11. So Carl probably just said, "Look, you just get the single and let me, score." I don't know who was left in the betting, but Carl probably took it on himself.
Macau Walker and Rajesh. So one of the foreign players.
Oh, okay, but like I said, Carl, Carl it's a bet. So he's played for these national teams, so he's got that experience where he knows what bowlers to hit and when to score. So and with Zico, like I said, now playing with the under 19, I'm sure that's helped Bay out a lot too because he's an all rounder really, So that's helped out Bay a lot too.
It's funny because Zico Burgess bowled 6 overs, none for 28. Shakai Darrell, 5 overs, 1 maiden, none for 31. Mackay Simmons, 3 for 44 off of 7. And Zari Painter, 2 for 26 off of 8. Rohan Richards, none for 36 off of 5. And Charles Trott, 7.5 overs, no maidens, 2 for 58. So he was bowling at the death to Kyle Hudson. And if you look at it, Bayless Bay got a good start. Shirai Tavares was out for 27, and the score was on 44 after 8.6 overs. After 9 overs, and then it was a big stand between Durham and Frey, taking them from 97 to 162. To help push them over, and with somebody like Courage Durham, who doesn't take a lot of big risks when he's batting. He likes to play things safe early in his inning and so forth, and likes to spend time at the wicket. It could be frustrating for a team if you can't get him out, and he's nudging the ball around, nudging the ball here, nudging the ball there, taking twos, taking singles and stuff like that. As a former captain, Doc, you see he uses a lot of balls. Is he somebody you leave in and bowl around?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Try to get him out.
Yeah, he made 70 something, so you can't. It's not right now. Courage is working on his batting. So right now, maybe years ago you might have tried that, but right now, Courage. They told me Courage is one of the first one there and one of the last ones to leave. So obviously he's working on his batting.
Right.
But, so he's starting to hit the ball, because I saw him in a few 2020 games last year. He's starting to hit the ball too. So if you leave him in, he picks up the little singles, the little twos, or whatever. He's getting his eye in. So to give him straight and keep doing that, all it's going to do, eventually, he doesn't get his eye in. And when you look, it's probably turning 20, 30, 40, 50. And look, it's got 70. So you're going to have to, you just have to build to him and try to minimize these singles, and I think you probably try to have to get them out, man, because if you leave them in, all you need like a turn come in, who grafts, or Steven. I mean, you look, they got another partnership going too. So I don't know. It's just it's one of those things where you just have to build to one side of the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
And get your bowlers doing that and try to cut out their singles. That's one thing they could do.
Yeah.
Well, I think.
Let me ask you, Cal. Yeah.
I think also because he's a left-hander, so that adds a little bit of spice to the reality of him batting. So, like Doc said, is where do you build to him, particularly as a left-hander, where a lot of writers may struggle building to a lefty.
Yeah. As part of the I guess national setup, Cal, do we struggle in bowling to a set field? Do our bowlers lack the application of doing it on a consistent basis?
I think it's going in with a bowling plan and sticking to it. You never know what's in the bowler's head, or where he may be thinking, let me try something different. And it's always, don't get bored. If you're bowling a dot, don't get bored. Just bowl another dot. Don't keep thinking, I gotta get him out, or I gotta swing the ball big, I gotta hit him, I gotta hit the stump. You want to do too much with the ball. Mm-hmm. So, if the guy is only getting once, then, you overrate your economy rate. It's ones and maybe sixes, but nowadays, if you look at these stats, some of them guys, the economy rate is very high.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And like Hal said, that's probably coming building like to one side of the field, and probably the extras too. Like, you know what I mean? Like giving up a wide, no ball, maybe could be stuff like that there.
Right.
And like Hal said, you gotta do it for game plan. If it's a left-hander or right-hander, you most of you brothers gotta look at the batsmen. Especially you're playing the foreign team.
Right.
Other guys know players down here, so you could probably stick to your game plan.
Right.
Is sticking to the game plan. Because once the batsman is on top, you still got to stick to the game plan. It's 50 overs, 20 overs, or whatever. And one of the important things is to that is, is who the catches.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. I'm seeing a few it's early season, so I'm seeing a lot of games won this year already with drop catches.
Right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk the other two Premier Division matches held today in the Southampton Rangers, Cleveland County, and the St. David's Western Stars match. We'll be right back.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this? John Barrett & Son is bringing us something fresh and exciting for the new year. Bai Antioxidant Infusion Beverage. Bai delivers the natural antioxidant benefits of the coffee fruit in glorious combination with a variety of exotic fruit flavors, with only 1 gram of sugar and 10 calories per bottle. The folks at Bai are inviting us on a world tour through these amazing flavors. Brasilia blueberry, Zambia Bing cherry, Costa Rica clementine, Malawi mango, Panama peach, Ipanema pomegranate, Kupang strawberry kiwi, and more. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
And welcome back. Well, gentlemen, let's talk about that. What one would consider an all-important game for a team like St. David's and Western Stars. St. David's, as we know, they had a bye the first round or the first week. Then they faced St. George's and lost. Then they faced Bay and lost. Now they're up against a team that's full of confidence in Western Stars, and they've picked up the third loss. Doc, is it a growing concern in St. David's right now?
Well, hard to say, Cal. I know one thing: they need to start winning, because, like I said, they're only playing each team once.
Right.
So you need to get your points early, and if you look at the play at Bay already, hard team, and also the play at St. George.
Still got Cleveland to play, who's undefeated.
Right, yeah, I still got Cleveland to play, and then I got
Warwick and
Rangers.
Yeah.
So, they would really need to get it together quickly. They probably thought with Stars that they're hoping to start there, but the Stars right now, I think the players are just backing us out right now. There's two victories against Warwick and Rangers, kind of motivated a lot of the guys. And then I got some guys coming back from school too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jaden's back, my other nephew Jamori's back, and then I got one learn player, two learn players, Deontay Durlin and Makai Young, so they're strength to the team. So and Deontay Durlin didn't play today. Played for the under 19s. He had a little toe injury. They wasn't sure about his toe, but he's got to come back into the team because he and Trey had a nice partnership last week. And not only he's playing under 19s too. So they got a pretty decent team. I just think right now, Stars and St. Davis team, could have went either way, but St.
Right.
Davis definitely got, we talked about it last week, with, I don't know if the Beckering and Arbon's going in the team. That's what's been going on. But and you can't it's early in the season. If y'all going already, like, it's not good for the team because there's only 3 or 4 games playing. So, yeah, they would definitely need to turn around quickly. I don't know who they play next week, but and I'm gonna guarantee Warwick is gonna be coming at them hard too.
Right.
Along with Cleveland, and you never know about Rangers. So they will definitely need to get it together quickly.
Right. Cal, looking at a team like Western Stars, they lost their first game, but they haven't lost since. So the confidence in that team, you heard Doc say they're backing themselves. Just that alone, when you start seeing teams building that confidence, is that something that they can actually use to their advantage to continue a winning streak?
Yeah, definitely. They have the quality players in their team. It's just a matter of people getting in and getting a start. And it's interesting, if we look at the scorecards, it's basically probably one partnership per match in both teams that sway the game either way. So, the key is definitely staying there, building partnerships, and, that builds confidence amongst the other players. So if everybody has that confidence, then the whole team is confident about who they play and what they can do.
Yeah. Doc, to answer your question, St. Davis play Cleveland next.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you right now, they would definitely need to get it together. So,
Western Stars play St. George's.
Right.
And Warwick play Southampton.
Hmm.
That should be an interesting one because
Yeah,
whoever wins has an advantage because I'm not saying that there's a guarantee, but the way St. Davis are playing now and the way Cleveland's playing right now, you're almost going to give Cleveland the edge.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, it's only going to be 2 teams that will not have a victory. If St. Davis lose to Cleveland, whoever loses the Warwick Rangers game, they're now down to a must-win situation in the next matches.
Yeah, I tell you, it's gonna make it interesting. Like I said, it's not like they're playing each team twice. So
Right.
You have to win your first game. Like it's no choice. Like
But for
So,
St. David's, it's almost like who else can they bring in? Where the other
Yep.
teams, they have that depth and players. So
Right.
for St. David's, it's the 11 or 14 that's there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at a lineup for St. David's and you look at the likes of Derek Brangman, O.J. Pitcher,
yeah,
Ricardo Brangman, Justin Pitcher. These guys have had their share of cup matches.
yeah. Got Shannon Rayner back there now.
And Arena's back here, yeah.
All
Yes,
those experienced players, like they with a few young kids, like the little boy Painter who Bill Val today said, and
Aaron
he made
Painter.
too.
He got 37 not out too.
Yeah, and he got a few wickets too. So they got the young guys there. So they need to really, work around those young guys, man. And I
Right,
heard
right.
one or two young players has left too to go out
Right.
there. I
Yeah.
don't know if they're not playing, but they like I said, they got the depth there. So
Yeah.
just
Doc,
about
it's interesting. It's interesting you bring up the youngsters, and Cal, you could jump in as well. So this is how St. David's opened. Shannon Rayner, Mac, I believe it's what's his last name? Lowe.
But he didn't play because they were short.
Right. Okay. So O.J. Pitcher, Derek Brangman, Crockwell, Ricardo Brangman, Justin Pitcher. Once those guys were going, you were left with Isaiah O'Brien, Aaron Painter, Eugene Bull, and Dean Smith. Do you split that up? Do you put a youngster in early to get with a senior player to try? Because if your senior players are all out, now you're relying on, at the death, these youngsters.
But then there's a flip side. Maybe you're looking to the senior players to actually do their job. So the youngsters
Right.
coming in a less pressure situation, but as cricket goes, that backfired. But I
Right.
mean, even the quality of the Isaiahs, the Aarons, and the youngsters, they could bet. So it's just a matter of what is going wrong that St. David's just aren't scoring enough runs or making partnerships.
Mm.
It's interesting because I got two players that's in the national squad, like Isaiah. Oh, I don't think the little boy Pank is there, but Isaiah O'Brien is in the national team.
Yeah.
And I guess this little boy Pank will probably be knocking shortly too. You know.
Mhm.
So they've got the young players there. It's just that like I said, I don't know what I bet them to, but they're there. I'm seeing Isaiah, the boy O'Brien bet in the under 19 training. And,
Yes.
and I seen him play a few games. He hit the ball nice and straight, and he's a fairly decent bowler. So,
Right.
And the little boy Pank that too. So I guess they'll probably have to work that out. It's because, like I said, whatever's happening, it's not working. So
Yeah.
they need to get it right.
Yeah, and they don't have much time. I mean, they only have the 3 games left. And again, if they lose, whoever wins the Warwick and Rangers game, they'll have 10 points. So that means you're in a must-win situation. And I don't think your run rate looks too good either. I mean, for St. David's, they're going to have to either, pick up 2 quick wins or they face relegation from the 50-over league.
And they just
They've got to find the recipe, so it's the back's up against the wall. So maybe that's probably the fire they need to ignite them.
Well, yeah, it's they're in a very difficult position right now, with what they've put themselves in. Only they have put themselves into it. Very short day up at Southampton Oval, where Southampton Rangers, Cleveland won the toss and sent Rangers to bat. Build them out for 85. We know last week Rangers were out for 32. This week doubled that and got a few more runs as well. But looking at a team like Rangers, where you had Dalen Otterbridge, top scorer with 27, Nakori Smith got 11, no one else in double figures. It don't look good for them, and they're going to go up against a Warwick team who had a bye this week, who have guys in their team as match winners. But looking at today, what could we say, Doc? What could we say about Rangers right now?
Well, like you said, we all knew what Rangers was going to struggle a bit. With the players that they got. Dylan's got a lot of work. Jelani, oh boy, these guys have played, but they are probably and Dylan has been making runs in the first couple of games.
Right.
But it's a lot of pressure on him, because it's like once teams are just working around him, or they'll try to get him out. Once they get him out, the rest of the team so like they crumble. So it's got to be guys like Jelani, oh boy, and the little boy Rema's back now too. I forget his first name.
Najaya.
Right.
Najaya.
So his back. So he's playing a little cricket in England. So these guys need to start they will probably need to start making runs to help Dylan out.
Yeah.
But one thing I noticed about Rangers, watching them play, like I spoke to you last week, Earl, they'll continue playing, they'll continue training, and they're not arguing every week.
Right.
I didn't see them today. But I saw them against Stars and the first game, and they'll go out there and enjoy it because most of them are probably not played for a long time. So, but they're still going out there and giving it back.
Not there to support the club.
Yeah. So hopefully, like I said, some of the players this season will learn. They will learn something, and then next season they could build on that.
Yeah. You had Jamari Beach. 4 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 7. The Unstoppable, 5.1 overs, 3 for 12. Jabari Darrell, 5 overs, 2 for 21. Isaiah Greaves got a wicket for 10 off of 4. And Makai McGowan got 1 for 15 off of 5. That included a maiden. Cleveland have been one of those teams this season, been able to do the business that's required, not losing too many wickets, because as we noted last week, and here we are again, Alan Douglas is yet to bat. Dion Stovall. You know,
Dion came in today.
what's that?
Dion batted today.
Oh yeah, 3 not out. Yeah, Dion 3 not out. Off of 4 balls. Was that one of those things? I need to get a hit.
No, Bremer got out. Bremer was actually dropped early. So
Right.
Rangers have a good bowling. Ryan, he bowled well. But the thing that they need to work on to help develop them as players is their pitch. Like that north end was so inconsistent, it bounces. Just it makes you wonder. Like, you know, in order to help develop these players, they just need a better surface to play on and to train on. But they have the quality. If you look at the wicketkeeper Nikoi, the Odeon guys, they have technically sound cricket skills. So they just, like, 1 week they scored the 200 against St. George's. So they could play cricket, but you know, it's just one of them things that today wasn't a day. If you probably put them on a better pitch, the guys will probably play a lot better.
Yeah. But we're gonna take our Doc.
I know. I said I totally agree with what Cal was saying, because the pitch, you know, it's unfortunate because normally up ranges the wickets play a lot better. But like you said, the buns is inconsistent, especially if a guy's not playing for a long time. You know, your ball's coming through scooting or popping up. You know, that's no good for these guys betting. And then, like Cal said, they played on St. George's on a decent pitch and they scored 200. So they were, you know, like I said, that's you know, that's something the club would need to help them, assist them in get their wicket prepared properly.
But definitely one of the problems that we all know is that we're short on groundsmen and guys that's got time to put in to prepare, you know, week in and week out, you know. We face weather, we face all sorts of obstacles, but I mean, I'm fearing in a few years' time, you know, we're gonna have to go back to concrete wickets because we just don't have the curators to do it and do it consistently.
Yeah, well, you still got to do the application of certain things. Like, I mean, if you don't put water on it, how you expect for it to roll and bounce?
Wow, yeah.
You know, and then if you look at Rangers, they played round 4. They played 4 straight matches on that same pitch. They trained on it, and they played 4 matches on it. So it's pretty much dead and done.
Oh, like okay. And you have to do that, like, you know, if they're training on it, so how are you going to work on it through the week? Because sometimes you have to go to, you know, when the Rangers, other, you know, Gronson was there, they done something through the week. You go to roll it through the, roll it through the week or watered it, you know, top grass and do stuff like that. And you can't keep training on it and then playing on it, you know, on the weekends. So how is going to get some rest? You know, it's never going to get rest. That's one thing they probably need to, you know, to leave and let the groundsman see if he could do something through the week.
Yeah. Well, let's take our second commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at the first division. We'll be right back.
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, you know, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends, and that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
Putting down the weapons.
Have you seen this?
Here's one of our favorite feature brands, true veterans of the food awareness movement. Bob's Red Mill, the U.S. leading miller of organic whole grain foods. Only whole grains have the entire value developed during growth. And once you try them, you know that this is the way food was intended to be. Try Bob's Red Mill blanched almond, whole wheat pastry, and artisan bread flours, and 1-to-1 gluten-free baking flour, unsweetened shredded coconut, gluten-free homemade wonderful bread mix, and a variety of rolled oats. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Well, yesterday at Devonshire Recreation Club, the under-19s for the second weekend in a row, heartbreak. Last week they lost by 9 runs. This week they lose by 1 wicket. They scored 227 all out. They had Jamal Proctor with 95. I watched this young man's inning yesterday. Very impressive. He had 17 boundaries. And then tried to go over the top to see if he can get his century, but got caught on 95. Lamont Brangman, Zakeo, as you said, Cal, Zakeo Hart added 54. So Lamont Brangman, 3 for 52 off of 10. That included a maiden. And then in reply, Devonshire Recreation Club scored the 228 for 9. They had a 135-run 4th wicket partnership between Nkrumah Kenner and Clay Darrell. Nkrumah scored 73, hitting 10 fours and 3 sixes off of 61 balls. And Clay Darrell scored 68 off of 42 balls, 3 fours and 6 sixes. Proctor took 4 for 49 off of 10 overs that included a maiden. And as Doc said, Deontay Derlin took 3 for 32 off of 6.5 overs that included a maiden. But looking at the under 19s, how do the coaching staff keep them positive after 2 close calls in the loss department?
For me, I think if you analyze the match, because that game, the extras, that game may have lost it for them.
Right.
They're making runs, but also they're still giving up runs. Mind you, on a Devonshire Rec, you can't be wayward with your building because it's a very small field width-wise and length-wise. So, it's good things. You take the good out of it. Proctor's batting well. The scoring runs, so we just need to keep adding on to the others to continue to score runs.
Yeah, and we talked about the young man Proctor, Doc, last week. Very impressive with both bat and ball. And again this week, he just seems to be a full package.
Yeah, I ran up to watch under 19 training on Wednesday. I had a little chat with him. He just come back from England. He's got that technique. His technique is very sound. He's a good little, like I said, he builds good too. He's got a little all-rounder. And training, it's really, I was watching him bet. And it's not scared to try things. Like, he tries improvising, doing different shots. But when you're playing in the UK, when you're training out there, they don't allow you to do that. So when you do it, you got to do it in training first when you try it in the game. So he was trying a few, and it was working a few times. I saw him, I noticed about him, like his wrist work, he's real wristy, wrist, like so. His definitely the real deal. But looking at the under 19s game on Saturday, I don't know if you guys, that 135 run partnership, Clay got dropped on 0, and Glenn on 15. And the little boy and Nkrumah got dropped too. They all had chances. So this is what the inexperience comes in with the under 19s. You can't afford to drop catches, especially the guy like Clay Darrell. You drop them twice, 0 and 15.
Right.
And Nkrumah got, I think, was once or twice too. But then they're gonna make Clay was dropped on 0, and Nkrumah was dropped on 0. So what I'm saying is, like I said, with catches, like for inexperienced. If they would have just called one of those guys, they would. It's a strong chance they would have easily won. Well, I would say easily won the game. They would have won that game.
Right.
But
now, let me ask you: does it make sense to take two of the senior players in the national team to play with them to help guide when it comes down to these crucial things?
No, not me. My opinion, no. Because you know why? I'm saying that, Earl. That played at an under 19 level, their senior guys are not going to play with them in the tournament. You know what I mean?
Right.
They need to play. They need to play. And not only that, you're taking two more players. But like those guys they got a lot of guys overseas that's got to come in the team. Well, I said a few overseas that's got to come back. Like the boy Zuri Tomlinson,
Right.
a few more. To Keegan Jones and all these guys. So these guys, I'm telling you, these guys out there playing now. So obviously they'll already probably see that they're playing overseas. So you got to they're looking at the guys that are playing here. So these guys need to have steps themselves in the team.
Yeah.
They should be saying, look, these guys are coming back. They're not taking my spot. So they need to be playing. That's what we done years ago when we qualified for the World Cup. We had the same thing. We had them playing in the leagues.
Yes.
And you keep it. They keep the unity. So I think that they still need to be playing, but they just need to work on the field and a few other things. It's still early in the season. You can't afford to drop good catch. Spurs are playing Canada now. Right? Canada's one of the tougher teams that will probably be playing against. And you drop one or two double players. It's just the same thing's going to happen. So they just really need to work on the fielding and the extras and catches and stuff like that. They're betting wise are making runs,
right?
But to me, when I saw that, I said, well, that's where they lost the game too. So, like Kyle said, it's they're making runs, so they didn't really need to work on that. And then again, there's still little extras, and not building to one side of the field,
right?
But like I said, that will soon come, man. I'll continue playing those guys in the first division.
Okay. All right.
We gotta realize with extras it's another ball and maybe more runs. So we gotta minimize them as much as possible.
Right. Definitely. Well, today up at Somerset Cricket Club, Flats Victoria scored 234. I guess they thought that was enough. But unfortunately, Somerset scored 237 for 2. In the Flats over, Jan now scored 82. He is the opener off of 92 balls, 8 fours, 4 sixes. Kevin Hurdle added 28, batting at number 3. Kofield Robinson, 18. Paul Harvey, 16. Rico Bell, 17. Nelson Bascom, 18. It's funny enough that the final pair put on over 30 runs for the final wicket. And Shane Robinson was out for 9. They were 188. And then when Nelson Bascom got out, they were on 234. 20 wides out of 32 extras. Again, I mean, we're the first division's 2 games in, so hopefully those numbers start to come down after week 3, week 4. You just can't be giving up that many wides. Isaiah Richardson, 3 for 46 off of 7.2 that included a maiden. Proctor, 2 for 32 off of 7. Sheldon Casey, 2 for 48 off of 11. Oh, well, it should be 10. 10. Jordan De Silva, 9.5, 2 maidens, 2 for 46. And Azar Morrissey, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 14. Then in that Somerset inning, the young man we just talked about, Proctor, 123 not out. Scored 95 yesterday, 123 not out today off of 85 balls. He had 24s and 2 sixes. Jacob Albertiz, he opened, got 46 off of 46, 8 fours. Matthew Watson, 31. So Somerset got a good start. Somerset were 56 for 1 after 6.1 overs when Watson got out. They lost the next wicket when Albertese got out on 142. And then Proctor and Dominic Sabir, who scored 30 off of 26, took the total, to 237 for 2. Last week, Doc, we talked about Somerset and the fact that Gennaro, was the top scorer and so forth. This week, he wasn't needed to bat.
Yeah. I saw that coming. I mean, you look at Somerset's team, the two opening bats, Watson and Albertese, if the national team. Then you got Proctor, Dominic Sabir in the national team. So all those guys, have been playing cricket for the last couple of months. So eventually the runs are gonna come. Then you got Jordan, De Silva and well, I don't know, Greg played today. You got so they got a pretty decent lineup if you look at their teams, especially playing in the first division.
Yeah.
But
you think return back to the Premier Division for Somerset?
Oh yes, but definitely. Yeah.
Did Amari play as well today?
Oh, you got Amari Aben too.
Amari Aben, yep.
So they got enough bats. But it's interesting. Proctor scored 90 something runs in boundaries, and he scored 123.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And guess what? Only 2 6s, 24.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take that into the equation, you know what I mean. So obviously a lot of these shots is playing when they ground. Normally somebody scores 120. You normally see 6 6s and the rest ones, but 2 4s. 2 6s. And the rest 4, so so that's and again 123 not out. So
yeah, scored over 200 runs in 2 innings over the weekend.
Yeah,
and took 6 wickets in the combined 2 games.
Yeah.
This youngster is really being having an impressive start to the season. Long may it continue, because if it does, then when the under-19s do go and play, that's one batsman that we that's informed that others could just ride that wave with him, hang around, let him do the scoring, and just support kind of thing. That's one way of looking at it. He started the season really well, and like I said, may it long continue, except if it's coming.
It's interesting. You said it's week 2 of cricket, but it's week how many of training?
Right.
So these extras that guys are giving up, you can't say it's because it's a game. It starts from training.
Funny enough, Flats only gave up 7 extras of 237 runs, 6 wides and 1 leg by.
Not bad. But then
so they just need to work on the lines and lengths to build in there.
Yeah.
That's probably the least we've seen so far.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's good for pre-season early in the season.
Yeah.
And that's their first game, right?
And it's our first game too.
Yes. Because last week their game was called off because the wicket wasn't really up at Somerset at White Hill.
So that's that's good. They could work on that. I mean, if they could continue on that there, they could be coming up with Somerset. That's really good.
Yeah, because they scored runs, they just gave up too many against a good batting lineup. Yeah.
Oh, exactly, against a good batting lineup, where the top 4 or 5 batsmen are holding the national score. Or one of these scores.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at it.
Yeah. Well, Somerset Bridge got their season underway. Willicots have played their second game. Willicots were sent to bat by Somerset Bridge. This morning, as we know, just before game started, there was some drizzle around. So I guess Somerset Bridge were thinking, let's get them in on a little damp surface and see what we could do. But unfortunately, that backfired because Ross Solomon Burrows scored 42. Dwight Baston 13. Those 2 opened. And after 10 overs, they were 58 for 1 with Baston out. Down the line, they got 30 from Chakotay, Baston, 19 from Kyle Brengman. Kevin Fobler scored 16. They were the only other guys in double figures. Now, we were talking about Flats giving up 7, right? Somerset Bridge gave up 56 extras. 48 were wides. 5 no balls, 1 leg by, and 2 byes.
That's where they lost again. Right
And
there.
how many of us did Willicott's bet? Because they didn't bet 50 in it.
45.
So
Wow.
that's-
no, they betted 50 through the extras, but
50. Yeah, I should just say 50.
not 50 overs.
50 extras. Yeah.
uh,
I mean, in order to stay in a game, you can't give up 50 extras.
No, all Willicott had to do was stay there because the Bridge
Yeah.
were giving them the runs.
Yeah.
And the
those
extra
were the
column.
runs.
Yeah.
That was the highest score. That's probably the highest bet in school.
It was the highest. It was, yeah, 56. Yeah.
No,
And
you can't have in games. Definitely can't in a game like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then in reply, Somerset Bridge were all out for 97. They got 20 from Sean Riley, 11 from Joshua Gilbert, Adrian Burrows, 15. There's only 4 batsmen in double figures, but 14 extras given up, 11 wides, 3 byes for Willicott. So that's a bit disciplined bowling early in the season for them. They had Kevin Fubler take 3 for 25 off of 6. Joseph Baisden 2 for 16 off of 5. Chakotay Baisden 4 for 7 from 4. So they had some consistent bowling to take hold of Somerset Bridge. They're playing, like I said, they're playing their first game due to the wicket not being ready last week against Flats. Not sure how the board will look at that and if they will have to try and fit that match back in or whatever. But definitely this week, Somerset Bridge would need to work on bowling to one side of the field and really, really concentrating on bowling stump to stump, because whatever they were doing, it wasn't working.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks definite.
All right. So we're going to take our final commercial break. When we come back, we're going to look at Player of the Week. We'll be right back.
It seems everyone knows someone who's lactose intolerant or just avoiding dairy products. And fortunately, there's a growing array of delicious and nutritious alternatives. Pacific Natural Foods have been doing things their own way simply and sustainably for over a quarter century, making non-dairy beverages with the finest possible ingredients right down to the packaging. Try Pacific Natural Original and Vanilla Hemp Milk and Almond Original Plant-Based Beverage, all sweetened or unsweetened, and low-sodium organic vegetable or chicken broth. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends, and that's what I'm thankful for.
It's putting down the weapons.
You seen this?
And welcome back. Well, during the commercial break, I've been sitting here toying with, should we sugarcoat it or should we just say Jamal Proctor has to be the player of the week for a second week in a row? 95 runs scored yesterday for the under-19s, turned around and took 4 for 49 off a 10 with 1 maiden. Then today, scored 123 not out and took 2 wickets to help Somerset win their league match against Flats Victoria. Anybody object?
I tell you, it's another interesting one too. You got to look at Brian Hall too.
Yes.
64 not out,
Yes.
and he got a hat trick.
5 wickets.
And
Five wickets.
The 5 wickets too. So I don't know. I know the little boy did perform really good. I was looking at it too, but you can't overlook that too. 64 not out and 5 and a hat trick too.
Oh, you got a hat trick. Okay.
Yeah. So I know. What was it? 5 for
10.
5 for 10. I mean, at 64 not out. I mean, if you look at the games itself.
Sorry, 5 for 28 from 10.
Yeah, I think it was 5 for 28.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a toss up between those two, definitely.
Yeah, where did Brian? Well, the wickets Brian got. Who did he get?
Derek, most of the batsmen. Derek, Justin. I think Ricardo.
I'll get it for you in a second here.
Yeah, so
Here we go.
Got the top line, the top batsman.
So Brian got Lowe, Derek Brinkman,
Right.
Crockwell, and Ricardo,
Right.
as well as Isaiah O'Brien.
Right. I'm just saying you can't really overlook that too. I mean, like
Right.
But like I said, if you look at Proctor too, it's like, hey, it's too bad you can't give a first division and a Premier Division.
Premier Division.
Yeah.
Right.
we ain't got no other choice. That's the 2 deal. But
well, actually, I mean, listen, you make a good point for Brian Hall. So Cal,
let Cal be the decision. Let Cal be the decider.
You make the decision, Cal. I've picked Proctor, and Doc has offered, and like I said, he has a valid argument. Brian Hall was able to get some top name players out for St. David's, and then he would turn around and scored 64 not out off of 47 balls. He had 3 4s and 3 6s. Was at the wicket with Trey, who scored 51 off of 67 with 4 4s. They put on they took the score from 129 for 5 to 219. So just 90 runs. They put on a 90-run partner. What was that? 6th wicket partnership.
And it doesn't mean Cal talk about partnerships.
Yeah.
One gets the box and one gets the bottle. It's
if you think about it, it's hard, isn't it, man?
It's really hard. They both made significant contributions to their team. I mean, if it has to be an outright winner, or they could be co-joint MVPs for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't overlook both of them because they both swayed the match.
Yeah.
Right. So you're happy to go with both?
I'm comfortable. They both did good performances. Proctor's had a good weekend.
I'm happy to go with both too, because it's going to be very hard to pick those two. Like, you can't, the little boy Proctor, you can't, you can't do that. Anything, what I just said, that is just that he's playing First Division and he's playing Premier Division. But if you look at it, it's still it's not much difference in the team. Like, but still, but yeah, I think you might have to tell Boris, huh?
Yeah, with Stars winning and putting the pressure on St. David, so that was key for Stars as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I'm happy to say that for the second week in a row, Jamal Proctor from Somerset and the under-19s, as well as Brian Hall from Western Stars, will be named the Goslings Players of the Week. So there you have it. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to the two of them.
Yeah. Cool.
How's that?
That's good. Both of them making runs consistently too. They're both on form.
Yeah.
So,
well, Cal, I'm glad you were able to join us. We look forward to you whenever you can make it on a regular basis, joining. We look forward to your knowledge and understanding of not only the game itself, but the umpiring side, the national team side as well. So we look forward to you joining us, and we'll hopefully see you next Sunday, 7:30.
Just send me a message a little later. Not that early in the morning. I'm still asleep, buddy.
Stop telling everybody my business, man.
You
don't have to answer at that time that I send it.
There's an early bird.
Sundays start early.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You got cycling at 7:15. You got swimming at 8:30. Horse jumping 9 o'clock. Cricket 10:30. Track meet at 1 o'clock. Swimming again at 5 o'clock. When you got things to do.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
No problem, bro.
Thanks a lot, gentlemen. Enjoy your night, folks. We'll be back next week, Sunday, 7:30, with another edition of the IslandStats.com Cricket Show. Have a good night.
All right, boys.